Okay. Hello and welcome to the IELTS course. This is my preparation course for your IELTS exam, and this is the second session of the course. In case you're just tuning in, the first session was about simple preparations before and things to do during the exam. In things during the preparation for the exam, I talked about many things like about a day before the exam, what you should do, when, how much you should sleep, and before the exam by about 2 hours, right? Of course, you should be before the exam by about an hour, and get ready to have your ID checked in. You need to have your ID ready, and very small things like getting absolutely ready for the exam. In addition, I've talked about the first section of the listening exam. In that section, we are talking about very general conversations, a dialogue. With a dialogue, you should expect two people that are talking about a general topic. Maybe someone reserving for a hotel room, or someone who is maybe booking a seat in a train, right, on a train, or maybe even taking a look at a cruise or a ship cruise. So we have taken a look at that, and just to remind you, you should expect very specific details like names, telephone numbers, dates, small details. You should have some selective listening. And that means that once you read the text before the speakers start talking, you should be expecting a certain type of word, name or dear, and so on. So, to begin our course, I will just have a small practice test or a small review over what we have already learned, and with that we'll start with our first slide. As you can see, this is a slide that is typical of section 1. Okay? No, I don't expect it to be in any other section. So the first thing we need to notice, right, before the question, as I said before, you need to get ready to circle the numbers, or at least put some kind of mark next to the numbers so that you remember where they are. Of course, also take note of the ordering. The numbers will never come except in consecutive order. So you should expect the answer for 1 to come first, then 2, then 3, 4, and 5, and 6, and so on. So be very careful of the ordering in this section, right? Actually, in the entire test, the answers will be given to you in the order the questions are given. So before we listen to the recording, let's just take a quick look at the questions here. Blue Harbor Cruises. Name of cruise, highlight cruise, noon cruise, and there is a third cruise here. Price per person. Be very careful here. Sometimes in this situation, the person might be asking for the price for his family, 4 people, right? Which means that, let's say the price per person is 16, you might actually get a price of 16 times 4, 64 people. So be very careful of this. And here we have the price per person and 25. So this is the price per person, and I actually skipped one here. We will take a look at number 2 first, but I'm just taking a look at things row and so on. So let's take a look at the next row, departure times. Departure is when a certain vehicle leaves the station. So it can be a train departure time or a plane departure time. By the way, its opposite simply is arrival. Okay? So departure's opposite is the arrival time for a certain vehicle. So when you go to an airport terminal, you will take a look, or you will see a plane taking off, and or not a plane taking off, but actually a sign of a plane taking off. And next to it, you will see departure. Another sign will be a plane landing, okay? And we have arrival. These are the words that are written on these signs. Regardless, we will see 9:30 a.m., 12 p.m., and so on. And as I'm not sure if I said this or not, but just pay attention to the way the British, Australians, and Americans are saying the clock. So the British will say something like 6:30, 6:15, 6:45, and so on. So while the Americans will use more of a digital format, so 6:15, 6:30, 6, so on. So the British will use half or quarter past, quarter, or maybe I think half or quarter past, or 2. So these are the expressions that a British person would use. Of course, we are in the time of globalization today, so I cannot guarantee that every British will say this exact word. Okay, they might use the American format, so they will use 6:30, right, for this number, or 6:45, and so on. Anyway, for this 6:45. Anyway, so let's just forget this part here and get back to our time. So we are looking for a departure time. Be very careful of this word, departure, not arrival, not the time of the journey, the duration of the journey. Okay, he might say duration, a time a vehicle takes in order to reach its destination. Be very careful that if he says duration, that's not the answer. All right? It's departure. Next, included in the price. Here is a bit of a complicated matter because there are no examples written. Included in the price is the things that you expect to be given to you for free during the trip just because you paid for them in the ticket. So once you pay, so included in the price might be a meal, lunch, breakfast, dinner, maybe ticket, maybe photographs or brochures or something like that, postcards. These items are given to you for free during the trip. Okay, enough about that, and let's take a quick look at, or not a quick look, let's take a quick listen at the first track of the day. I hope you're ready. In the test, you will hear this track only once, but in the course, as I'm used to, I will just play this track 2 times just so you understand. Once before and once after we have solved the answers. Okay, let's go ahead.
Track 6. Good morning, Blue Harbour Cruises. How can I help you?
Can you tell me something about the different harbour cruises you run?
Well, we run 3 cruises every day, each offering something slightly different.
Let me just get a pencil.
Firstly, there's the Highlight Cruise, then we do the Noon Cruise, and we also have our Sunset Cruise.
Could you tell me a little bit about them? When they leave, what they cost, that sort of thing?
Well, the Highlight Cruise is $16 per person, and that leaves at 9:30 every morning and takes 2 hours to go round the harbour.
Right, 9:30. And you get coffee or refreshments?
No, but there's a kiosk on board where you can buy drinks and snacks. And we do provide everyone with a free postcard.
Right. And the Noon Cruise, can you give me some details on that one?
Well, the Noon Cruise is a little more expensive. It's $42 per person, and that departs at 12 o'clock, of course. It's actually very good value because it takes about 3 hours as it goes round the harbour twice, and of course for that price you also get lunch.
I see. And what about the last one?
Well, that's $25 a head, and it takes 2 hours.
And when does that depart?
We only run that one in the summer months, and it leaves punctually at 6:15.
And presumably you get a chance to see the sunset.
Yes, indeed, which is why it only runs in the summer.
And is there anything included?
Oh yes, all passengers receive drinks and snacks served throughout the cruise.
Thank you. Now, let's take a look at our answers. I hope you have got them all right. So, the first one, by the way, of course, you have noticed the order of the solutions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It doesn't matter if one's right on the top left, or sorry, top right, or anywhere else. The answers will come in the order of the questions, so you don't need to worry except about marking them so you remember where they are. So, the first one, the answer is sunset cruise. Sun, set. That's one word. Next, we have the second space. Included in the price is a free postcard. Free postcard. By the way, some examinations might accept that you just write one word, the postcard. Okay, because it is implied that it's free. Right? When you say included in the price, it is implied that it's free, or you know, that you don't pay for it during the trip. Okay. By the way, please take note of the please take note here of the question heading. Write no more than 3 words and or a number. 3 words is the limit. Okay. If you write 2 words and a number, that's okay. 3 words, very good. 3 words and a number, that's also correct. 4 words, that's considered wrong even if the answer is considered correct. Be very careful with this part. Alright, let's get back to section 3 now. The third question. You take a look at the price per person, that's, and the answer is here, $42. Okay, try to make the answer as standard as possible. You can write the number here, 42. A small guideline about how to write numbers. Some people can ask me, okay, Joseph, should you write a number in letters or in words, or in letters or in numbers? I mean, when should I write something like this? 100. Okay, 162 something. That's a very long word to say. Okay, that's a very long phrase. So the general guideline is to use letters for numbers between 1 to 20. 1 to 20. So let's say you should write something like 19. Alright? Or 20. The moment you reach 21, just write the number, and that's it. Okay? So here we have the number 42. Alright, so we just use these numbers. Don't forget the dollar sign. Okay? So they are British, but they use the dollar sign because it's actually Australia. Anyway, let's carry on to part 4, or number 4 now. Here, the noon cruise has something included in the price. It's lunch. Just lunch. Nothing else. What about number 5? Number 5, the departure time is, she said, 6:15. 6:15. So you can write just that. Okay? Maybe you can write 6:15 the words, but I wouldn't recommend it. So 6:15. That's long. Alright? Number 6, there are 2 answers. You must get both right. Alright? If you get one right and one wrong, that is sadly considered a wrong answer because it's just one number. It's a hit or miss. Alright? The moment you get an answer incorrectly, you will be, it will be considered wholly or completely incorrect. So number 6's answer is drinks. Alright? And snacks. Alright? By the way, once you start copying these 2 words in the answer sheet, just write them next to the number like this. Say this is 6, the answer given to or the space given to you in the answer sheet. Just write drinks, comma, snacks. Alright? Just like so. Alright? You take a look here. Drinks, comma, snacks. Nothing else. Alright, so that concludes our first part here. If we take a look next, we will see, before that, let's just play the recording again and take a look at our answers. Alright, here we are.
Truck 6. Good morning, Blue Harbour Cruises. How can I help you?
Can you tell me something about the different harbour cruises you run?
Well, we run 3 cruises every day, each offering something slightly different.
Let me just get a pencil.
Firstly, there's the Highlight Cruise, then we do the Noon Cruise, and we also have our Sunset Cruise.
Could you tell me a little bit about them? When they leave, what they cost, that sort of thing?
Well, the Highlight Cruise is $16 per person, and that leaves at 9:30 every morning and takes 2 hours to go round the harbour.
Right, 9:30. And do you get coffee or refreshments?
No, but there's a kiosk on board where you can buy drinks and snacks. And we do provide everyone with a free postcard.
Right. And the Noon Cruise, can you give me some details on that one?
Well, the Noon Cruise is a little more expensive. It's $42 per person, and that departs at 12 o'clock, of course. It's actually very good value because it takes about 3 hours as it goes round the harbour twice, and of course for that price you also get lunch.
I see. And what about the last one?
Well, that's $25 a head, and it takes 2 hours.
And when does that depart?
We only run that one in the summer months, and it leaves punctually at 6:15.
And presumably you get a chance to see the sunset.
Yes, indeed, which is why it only runs in the summer.
And is there anything included?
Oh yes, all passengers receive drinks and snacks served throughout the cruise.
Okay, so there's a small notice I have here. Okay, she said the price here is $25 per head. It's a bit of a strange expression, to be honest. It's, well, we just use it to count our cattle or something. But cattle. Let's just avoid that, or let's just regress and take a look at the next section or the next part of the conversation. Here, okay, again, make sure not to use more than 2 words. Be very careful of this. No more than 2 words. So, by the way, jetty is a small ship that is that crosses a canal or so. Okay, jetty number 2 is across the road from the something. Okay, maybe a car park or I don't know, maybe a hotel. What do you expect to see in a dock? Maybe a loading dock or something like that. Who knows? What about the commentary? The commentary is a person on a cruise that comments on the scenes you see. So he is more or less a tour guide. The next, something version of the brochure is available. So we're looking for a specific, maybe printed version, or it's an adjective. It's something that describes the brochure. So it can be printed. It might be the brochure, maybe in another language. I think maybe English or French, maybe French, German. Who knows? But at least we can guess here a type of delivery, printed or so, and or a language. Passengers are advised to take something with them. So it's whatever you can carry with on board. Let's just take a look at the recording. Let's continue. Go ahead.
Can I book for tomorrow?
No need to book. Just be down at the quay at 6 o'clock. All our cruises depart from jetty number 2.
Can you tell me where that is exactly?
Yes, number 2 jetty is opposite the taxi rank. It's clearly signposted.
Right. And can you tell me, is there a commentary?
Yes, there is, on all the cruises.
Do they do the commentary in any other languages?
No, it's just in English, I'm afraid.
Oh, so I'll have to translate for my friend, I suppose, as she's from Japan.
Well, there is a brochure with some information about the places of interest, and that's printed in several languages, including Japanese.
Oh, fine.
Oh, and one other thing. It gets extremely hot on the upper deck even at that time of day, so it's a good idea to bring a hat. Otherwise, you could get quite sunburned.
Right. I'll remember that. Thanks very much.
Okay. I hope you've got the answers here correct as well. Okay, if you take a look, the answers here are a bit more sophisticated, or more a bit well, what should I say? They're a bit more difficult, but it's nothing not manageable. So I'm going to write the correct answers now. Jetty number 2 is across from the, this expression is not used often, even in Britain or anywhere else. It's the taxi rank. Taxi rank. It's a rank here is when several things stand next to each other. Maybe a rank of soldiers, okay, or it's a row. Here, the taxi rank is somewhere where taxis park next to each other. Okay, that's taxi rank. What about the commentary? The commentary is sadly in English only. Well, probably a reminder why you should learn or do your best to learn as much English as possible, as most of the commentaries nowadays are only in English. English is the universal language. There is no escape from it. And it was a sad thing, or it's considered, or he considered it to be a bit disadvantageous, because he had a Japanese friend. He had a Japanese friend. By the way, Japanese are not exactly good in English, but let's just take a look at number 9. A something version of the brochure is available for his Japanese friend, so it's definitely a Japanese. Alright, just so you know, spelling, okay, this came just out of the blue here, but spelling mistakes, alright, are not considered mistakes in the exam, okay? But just pay attention that if the spelling changed the meaning of the word, let's say, for example, maybe if you made, you know, when there is no war, there is peace. Let me just go to the whiteboard here. When there is no war, there is peace. Okay? But at the same time, a part is a piece. If you misspell the word, it means in this way, right? If you misspell the word in this way, this changes the meaning completely, and this means you lose the marks, sadly. So pay very close attention. Of course, I'm not going to say that, well, see if the misspelling or see if your mistaken spelling will change the meaning of the word. If it doesn't change the word, okay, misspell it all the way. Just let's err on the side of caution. Let's try and be very careful of everything. Of course, it might not be, let's err on the side of caution. Okay, so we pay attention to not make any spelling mistake, even if it's not going to affect your answer in any way. All right, passengers are advised to take a hat. Right, as it's very hot on deck, even at that time of day, and you can get sunburned. Okay, so I believe that she said hat in a particularly not very nice accent. Okay, she's Australian, by the way, but we will manage. Let's take a listen one more time.
Served throughout the cruise, from jetty number 2.
Can you...
Alright.
Can I book for tomorrow?
No need to book, just be down at the quay at 6 o'clock. All our cruises depart from jetty number 2.
Can you tell me where that is exactly?
Yes, number 2 jetty is opposite the taxi rank. It's clearly signposted.
Right. And can you tell me, is there a commentary?
Yes, there is, on all the cruises.
Do they do the commentary in any other languages?
No, it's just in English, I'm afraid.
Oh, so I'll have to translate for my friend, I suppose, as she's from Japan.
Well, there is a brochure with some information about the places of interest, and that's printed in several languages, including Japanese.
Oh, fine.
Oh, and one other thing. It gets extremely hot on the upper deck even at that time of day, so it's a good idea to bring a hat. Otherwise, you could get quite sunburned.
Right. I'll remember that. Thanks very much.
Okay, so that's our practice for section 1. Hopefully we will not get back to this anytime soon, because in my opinion section 1 is the, well, it's not my opinion, it's the fact. My section 1 is the easiest part of the exam. Okay? Don't worry about the other sections. Once you've finished this course, you will have enough practice, or you will have had enough practice to be able to solve any other section, including section 4, which is hated by almost everyone, including myself. Well, let's just go ahead for the next part. This is just a preparatory part for understanding details. It's usually in section 2. We need to understand when someone tries to describe something. Okay, well, this car is black and the driver's seat is on the right. And yeah, it seems a bit old, maybe 4 or 5 years old, and it has a flat tire. Well, that's certainly a terrible car, but you understand what I'm trying to get to here. Understanding detail means you need to try and make a picture in your mind from the speech or from the conversations you hear. Okay? So let's take a look at the first picture here. 3 windows, 3 rectangular or square windows, and they're very close to each other in details. So we have to pay attention very closely when someone tries to describe a window of these. Okay, we have to mark the one that he just described. Okay, let's quickly take a look at the windows here, and then let's just in one go here. Let's take a look here at the cylinders. I'm saying cylinders because those 2 are cylinders. Those 2, I'm not sure if they are cylinders or cones. A cone is this thing here, right? A cone is this part here that looks like this party hat. Okay, this is a cone. Okay, but let's get back here. So that's okay. That looks like a hat. But let's just remove this part here. Okay, here we are, and let's get back here to our shapes. So we have 2 cylinders. I think this one is polka dotted. Polka dotted. I'm just going to write it down here. Polka. Right. And just write the descriptions of items here. Okay. Item. Item description. Okay, whenever you're describing a shirt or a t-shirt or a pair of trousers, maybe a jacket or even something that's not an article of clothing, an apparel, you try to describe shapes on the shirt itself. If you can see, it's not very clear, but if you take a look here, you will see that there are some stripes here on the shirt. They are very thin. If the stripes are normal, I mean 1 white and 1 black and so on, okay, the shirt is normal striped. But my shirt has pinstripes. Alright? Pinstripes is pinstripes, it's when the stripes are very thin, very narrow. Okay? And what else? Let's take a look here at maybe a shirt that has squares on it. A shirt with squares on it is called checked. Okay? Checked. Alright? Or checkered. Alright? So a checkered shirt is one that has squares on them. What about a shirt that has dots on them, like or this one? This one, there are dots. There are lots of dots here, like a Dalmatian. That's called a polka dot. Polka dot. And just select here. And here we have polka dotted. Okay? What about something that doesn't have any type of pattern on it, okay? It's just black or green or just color, nothing else. I mean, if you take a look here, you cannot notice any type of pattern here. It's like only white, okay? That's a plain. Okay, just a moment. That's called a plain shirt or so. All right, so this is the item description. Okay,